Hey guys, welcome back to the English Gentleman Gamer with me, Roscoe. I just wanted to share my opinion for what it's worth, along with the millions of others that are no doubt on YouTube by now, of the, I'm not sure debacle is the right word, it's a bit harsh, but the humble pie Microsoft have had to eat this week. They did a couple of days ago, for those who don't know, and I don't imagine anyone who's a gaming fan doesn't know, but anyway, if you don't know, Nintendo reversed the policy on... They said they've reversed the policy on used games. Basically now they're saying you can just take any game and you can just give it to a friend and they can stick it in their Xbox One and play away. This apparently was at the detriment of the alleged plan where you could have a family, although you didn't actually need to be related, you could just have a group of 10 friends could effectively share one game, or your whole game collection. So in theory, 10 mates at school could have bought one copy of Call of Duty and shared it. And I can't imagine Craptivision being at all amused at that idea. Now it's come to light by an alleged anonymous Xbox engineer that what the actual truth behind this was, and it seems Microsoft were kind of economical with this bit, was that you could share your games or your library with 10 friends, family members, whatever. But when they played it remotely, so say I'm in Manchester and my sister, or theoretical sister's in Germany, she fires up her Xbox One. She doesn't actually get to play the whole game. What Microsoft had planned and not told anyone about, or hadn't made it obvious anyway, was that you would be able to play for between 15 to 45 minutes, maybe an hour, of what they called demo mode. So you would install the full game before you played it, or it would do it, in the middle of the night while you're asleep, because obviously the Xbox One never gets switched off. And you're in this demo mode, and then after an hour or whatever, you'd then be taken to the marketplace, Xboxdone, whatever you want to call it, and be prompted to buy a license to have the full copy of the game. So it wasn't actually all fucking, strawberries and cream what Microsoft had been telling us. The way they had, certainly the way it came across to me reading as many gaming websites as I could, your friends would share everything you owned. Now it turns out that's not the case. They were going to be able to basically demo every game you owned, whilst taking up all the space on your hard drive for the full fucking game. So you can imagine Uncharted 3, I've been downloading that recently, that fucking thing is 38 gigabytes. So basically I'd have to do this, I'd have to download 38 gig of bloody Uncharted 3 to be able to play it for an hour. Now there's significantly more of the game than that. So that wasn't all that much of a loss, it seems, although a lot of people were bumping the gums about, saying, oh, all these fucking moaning minis, now we can't have this family sharing thing. Turns out you weren't missing out on fuck all anyway. The requirement not to log on every 24 hours, I thought it was a stupid idea, although it's not as far-fetched as most of us would like to believe. I don't go on every day. From my point of view, I don't go on my PlayStation 3 every day. And I was curious, and I never got to find out what would happen if I didn't switch it on for 2 days, which is sometimes the case, especially if I'm go away at the weekend or whatever, it stays off for 3 days. Now, with PlayStation Plus, what it does do is it will try and switch it on itself on whenever I ask it, at whatever time I set it to download patches and shit like that. But it doesn't have to do that. And Sony doesn't get stroppy if it doesn't check in. Now, I'd be grateful if someone could explain to me what was supposed to happen if you didn't check in every 24 hours, because I'm unsure about what that was. Realistically, it was a stupid thing to propose, but I would suspect 90%, 80% of users would go on every day anyway. Certainly when you buy the fucking thing, you'd want to be playing it all the time. This Dishonored, by the way, I didn't get that rune the first time because I got caught by that woman, so I ended up skipping that rune. This time, this playthrough I'm on now, I'm only doing it to get trophies. I'm not doing it I'm not trying to collect anything in particular. The one trophy I can remember off the top of my head is I need to kill someone with the wind blast thing. That's the only offensive weapon I've not managed to kill anyone with. And there's another one about 5 unintentional suicides, something about travelling 30 metres in under a second or some crap like that. There's about 4 or 5 little trophies I need, and then I've got my first platinum, so that's why I'm playing Dishonored. Go back to Microsoft. yeah, you don't have to check in every 24 hours. I don't know why they made you do that anyway. I really didn't see what the fucking big deal was, why they were making you do that. I don't remember being in this room the first 2 times I played through this game either, so I'm not quite sure what I was doing. Yeah, so Microsoft have had to eat a bit of humble pie there. They claim to be listening to their customers and stuff like that. My own personal opinion is a lot more cynical about this. In the day, Sony and Microsoft are both companies out there with shareholders, and their only sole purpose on this planet is to make money. So they aren't doing us any fucking favours. What they saw was they were getting their asses kicked at the till, their asses were getting kicked online. You know, Jimmy Fallon said, "Oh, this PlayStation 4 is the one that lets you play used games." The general perception, certainly among people who weren't necessarily reading NeoGAF every day, was that it didn't actually play used games. It did. It was just a bit convoluted, and it was never explained very well by Microsoft. So the reason why I've done this, the other thing that's stupid is I always think of this story I got told by my head teacher at school. He said to us the first day he met us, "I want you to do 5 pieces of homework, coursework, whatever, a piece of coursework every day. That's 5 a week." And we were like, "You can bollocks to that, sir." And he said, "I tell you what, I want to do 3. We were like, "Oh yeah, well 3's not too bad." When his intention was to give us 3 in the first place, and he makes it sound worse by saying we're going to give you 5, and he actually, when he reduces it to the 3 you wanted in the first place, we think he's great. So maybe Microsoft are playing that card a bit. I mean, it backfired if they did, because they came across very badly, but I don't know. I really don't know what Microsoft PR and Xbox team are fucking doing. This thing about, you know, the family sharing plan, I don't know. Did anyone else see this before they decided to scrap it? I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, they would have come across looking like proper tits if they'd been saying you can share all your games library with 10 people. Well, actually, no, they can't. What they have to do is you have to install your entire fucking library onto their hard drive to be able to play it for a maximum of an hour before being told they need to fork over $50, $60, whatever, to buy a license to play the full game. So it wasn't, you know, they weren't giving anything away for fucking free there, Microsoft. They weren't doing you any favours whatsoever. They have, at last, you know, what, 2.5 years after PlayStation Plus came out, come up with an attempt to copy it. I mean, it's easy to bash Microsoft because they just make it so fucking easy, to tell you the truth. They get, what is it, a game on the 1st and a game on the 16th of the month for all of 2013. Bear in mind, you lot have been paying $30, $40 a year for this shit, and you've had nothing. So I do think Microsoft take the piss on Xbox Live, but that's another story. I mean, PlayStation 3, we get fucking Battlefield 3 next month. We've got Uncharted 3 this month. So it'll be interesting to see. I believe the first game's up at Halo 3, which is excellent, and Assassin's Creed 2, which was less excellent in my opinion because it just wasn't my cup of Earl Grey, I'm afraid. What else did I want to mention? We've had the DRM restrictions removed, which all that meant was you could only trade it in at a registered Xbox Live retailer or whatever. You know, I don't think it would actually make a massive difference to anything, but you know, it's like people pulling the face about having the ability to install a second OS on the PlayStation 3. I mean, how many people actually use the PS3 with a separate OS on it? Really? Not many, I wouldn't have thought. I suppose I would have done it once or twice just to be able to do it, just to prove I could do it. And after I'd logged on to the Yellow Dog Linux or whatever it was fucking called, it'd have been like, right, okay, bored now, and deleted it. So, you know, they moan about things, and I'm not sure many people ever had the intention to use them or not use them, as the case may be. I think Microsoft's biggest problem is the Kinect thing still being on. You know, you can't play anything without the Kinect being plugged in. So what do? Do you stick a That's the other thing. I read somewhere, I don't know whether this is true or not, so this might be a rumour, it might just be me making it up, but I definitely read somewhere that Microsoft or someone had the intention of using the Kinect to count, basically, the number of people watching telly in your house. So if you're paying $15 a month to stream Major League Baseball or the NFL live on a Sunday or whatever, and if there's more than a certain number, so let's assume it's 4 people, if there's more than 4 people watching the match, whatever you want, or whatever, you know, on your telly, the idea would be that it prompts you to pay a fee, to pay more money, to basically to allow more people to watch it. So think of it like when you buy a film from Asda, you have the right to watch it in your house, but you're not allowed to do is play it on a coach or in the prison or in a school or something, what they call like a public performance. Now this Kinect could be used to basically milk more money out of people, inviting friends out and say, you know, it's the Super Bowl or it's the FA Cup final or whatever. If there's more than a certain number of people watching it, you've got to pay more money because it's effectively a public performance. And I was like, what the fucking hell's that all about? You know, this shit, you know, it's supposed to be able to see what your facial expressions are when you're playing a game, and I'm like, I don't really want that, to tell you the truth. And I've yet to hear anyone actually say they do think it's a good idea. I mean, there's been a thing in the papers in this country the last couple of days about people hacking webcams. I mean, good luck to anyone trying to hack my webcam, because I just unplug the fucker when I'm not using it, so that's a non-starter. But I do get that there's certain, you know, a large number of laptops have them built in, and it's impossible to tell if it's switched on or not. Mine has a blue light on it when it's doing something, but it's an external one. So internal ones, you can't tell if they're switched on or not. So what do? Do you stick a plaster over it? Do you stick fucking masking tape? Will the Kinect be able to tell that you've taped something over it and it can't see what it should see? I don't know. And I still find it really creepy that you can just walk in your house and say Xbox on and it switches on that. It really, I will not believe Microsoft are doing anything noble or not being naughty bastards until the lads from XDA developers or wherever, anonymous, start, you know, intercepting the information that's being sent from your Xbox up to the mothership. And then when that's been utterly dissected and we see they're throwing straight dice, I don't believe them. But until that point, I wouldn't trust any of them. I certainly don't trust Sony with my credit card information anymore. If I do want to buy anything, I'll go to my local game and buy PlayStation vouchers and redeem them and have like an online wallet. I certainly wouldn't trust any fucker with my credit card details. But anyway, guys, I've had enough of a rant for the afternoon, so that's my opinion on the Microsoft PR disaster and having to eat an awful lot of humble pie and a few other things. I'll leave you with it, and I hope you have a good weekend, and I'll catch up with you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.